Hello everyone, my name is Aditya, roll number 21VQ1805D6. In this video, I am going to explain about databases. So in this video, we are going to learn about what are the what is database, what does mean by database, what DBMS, and some common use of database systems, database concepts, characteristics of file-based systems, problems with file-based approach, meaning of term database, meaning of DBMS, typical functions of a DBMS, major components of DBMS environment, personnel involved in environment, advantages and disadvantages of DBMS. So next, we will discuss about some major examples of database example applications, purchases from supermarket, purchases using a credit card, local examples, library, airline reservations, etc. And database concepts. Database data. Data is meaningless static value. Information is the data you process in a manner that makes it meaningful. A database is a shared collection of logically related data designed to meet the information needs of an organization. And next, database concepts, right? We are discussing about database application is a collection of data and the programs that allow the manipulation of these data to meet the information needs of an enterprise. Database management systems is software system that enables you define, create, maintain, and control access to the database. Application program of a database is a computer program that interacts with database by issuing an appropriate request to the DBMS. Right, next, database system. So this is the DBMS environment. You can see it here. And then next we have limitations of file-based approach. Basically, what happens is that we can see the data in file-based files. So, what is the need of DBMS? So, what is the need of database then? So there are some disadvantages and limitations of file-based approach. That is separation and isolation of data. Each program maintains its own set of data. Users of one program may be unaware of potentially useful data held by other programs. Duplication of data. Some data is held by different programs, waste space and potentially different values and or different formats for the same item. And so that is why databases are created and databases are used. Data dependence is also an limitation, incompatible file formats, fixed queries or proliferation of application programs. So that all comes from that database approach. So because these limitations of file-based approach attributed to two factors. Definition of data was embedded in application programs rather than being stored separately and independently. No control over access and manipulation of data beyond that imposed by application programs. Result, DBMS. So DBMS is introduced. Database. Database is a shared collection of logically related data designated to meet the information needs of an organization. System catalog provides description of data to enable program data independence. Logically related data comprises entities, attributes, and relationships of an organization's information. Uh, Database management systems, a software system that enables users to define, create, maintain, and control access to the database. DBMS facilitates the following: some relational DBMS products, components of DBMS environment. Hardware can range from a PC of network to computers. DBMS, right? Data, components of DBMS environment. Data, used by the organization, a description of this data, instructions and rules that should be applied to the design and use of database and DBMS. Roles in the database environment: system analyst, database designer, application programmer, database administrator. So database administrator is the one who administers the database, DBMS, and related software. System analyst determine the user requirements and develop the system specifications, identify the data, and choose the appropriate structure to represent and store the data. That is done by database designer. Application programmer does implement the implication program based on the system specification. So that is the work of this. Database end users. They use the data for queries, reports, and some of them update the database content. End users can be categorized into naive users, sophisticated users. Naive users invokes one of the permanent application programs that have been written previously, and sophisticated users form requests in a database query language. Advantages of DBMS: control of data redundancy. Redundancy means deviation of data from its original form. So there is no uh, irregularity or inconsistencies of data. So there is control of data redundancy. Data is consistent. Data is correct. More information for the same amount of data. Sharing of data. Improved data integrity. Improved security. Enforcement of standards. So there are many advantages. DBA, balance conflicting requirements. Improved data accessibility and responsiveness. Increased productivity. Improved maintenance through data independence. Increased concurrency. Improved backup and recovery services. Disadvantages. So we have, so that now we have looked about advantages. Let us look about some of the disadvantages of DBMS. It is complex. First of all, it is very complex to use that, and it is somewhat complex to use. That is the main disadvantage, and it requires some data. We require many database services is required. Database designer is required. Database understanding is required. Database we need to understand. We need to learn a query language. So there are some complexities, but there beyond that, before that, there are many advantages. So in this video, we have discussed about what is database and what are the applications of database. Databases are used in everywhere. They are used in library management systems, hospitals, airlines, railway services, business, educational institutions, etc., etc. And again, we have discussed about what is database, what are the rules of data, what are the rules of database administrator, database designer, application programmer, etc., etc. And we have also discussed about advantages of DBMS and disadvantages of DBMS. Hope you understand, and thank you.